I'm a mum of a lovely 6-month-old baby boy and am currently on maternity leave. So, I'm the primary carer for him. I also still breastfeed. That being said, I'm a human also and sometimes need to go out without the little one. My outings never last more than 3 hours and are never in the evening. Yes, I'm an adult and I haven't been out and about past 6 p.m. by myself in more than 6 months. But it's fine, I don't mind. My only request was for my husband to look after the baby twice a week so I could work out. Before the baby, I used to work out 4 times a week. It's a part of me. It's important to me, so I would keep my sanity. So, point is, I need these workouts twice a week now. The gym is within walking distance, so I'm gone for a total of an hour and a half. My baby is very sweet. He didn't have colic, which means excessive crying. He likes company and is a jolly fella. He is, however, attached to me and needs my boobs a lot. So, sometimes, when I'm gone, he would miss me and he would cry. My husband tries to calm him down but isn't always successful. Or it takes more time for him to calm our baby down. What worries me is that after such an episode, when I come home, he says, in front or to the baby, things like,
"Oh, he was very stupid while you were gone. Ugh, he's ruining my life. You're very annoying when you cry like that. Pff, that baby is an idiot."
And more, way more stuff like that. The way he speaks to the baby worries me very much. I don't think it's normal, although I get how hard a crying baby can be. Anyone in a similar boat? Please share your advice with me, thanks.
Your needs are perfectly reasonable. His behavior, however, is really wrong. Just a thought on the context. Before leaving, do you explain to your baby, with dad next to you, that you'll be away for a short while and he'll be in the good care of daddy? How does your husband feel in general about parenting? Does it seem like he's got it figured out, or is he overwhelmed, resentful, or disappointed with himself? I'm asking this because I doubt that the problem is the fact of you taking a short break for your workouts. I think he might have not built up the right mindset for what parenting means and how he can become his best self as a father.
I talk to my baby boy and tell him where I'm going before leaving. Yes. Sometimes he's happy to be just with his dad, but not always. As for my husband, he did want a child and was very happy when we were told it's a boy. But he was overwhelmed. He repeatedly said he misses our life before. He didn't think a baby would require so much care and attention. I did try to explain it though, but I guess he needed to see for himself. He also said that he feels inadequate when I can calm him in 2 minutes, but it takes him way longer. We've talked about this a lot. I always give him suggestions what to try if I'm not around, but he still loses it, and would say these hurtful things towards the baby.
That's definitely not normal, and I would talk to him about it intensively to help him see how serious it is. Even though your baby can't understand what the words mean right now, he can still feel unsafe and unloved by him because of his tone and reactions. Additionally, soon the baby will actually start understanding what his dad is saying to him, and it's going to have lasting impacts on his self-esteem and confidence. Therapy never hurts, too.
My husband refuses therapy. Otherwise, I've talked to him numerous times about the abusive language. He says he understands and he'll try. He does for a while, and then an episode like this happens again and again.
His behavior is out of order, but can your husband give him expressed milk or formula while you're gone? Or does he have to cope with a hungry baby for over an hour?
We have a freezer stash, and I always pump before leaving. Should have mentioned that. So, we're not talking about a hungry baby.
Got you. Yeah, that's not okay. Babies can respond to facial expressions, tones, and eventually pick up on what's being said is unkind. Does your hubby have postpartum depression? Need he be reminded your child is a baby, and crying is the only way they have to indicate needs or that something isn't right?
I suspect he does have PPD, or a depression of some sorts. It is getting better, but Eventually, a situation like this happens, and it breaks my heart. I cannot tell you how many times I tried to explain exactly that. He's a baby. He has lots of needs. His primary form of communication is crying, especially if those needs aren't met. He says he understands, but he just loses it when he starts crying.
Definitely sounds like PPD, and that's rough. I remember having the baby blues for a couple weeks, and I would feel so angry when my baby wouldn't stop crying. Maybe make a plan for him when baby starts crying. Have like a basic plan for what to do. Check diaper, give a bottle, try a back rub. If none of that works, set baby down for a few minutes, breathe, and try again. I know a stressed out parent will also continue to keep a babe stressed too. This is hard. Sorry you're going through this, Mama.
Oh, thank you for that.
I'm not saying his language is okay, but try pointing out when he's sweet. Over-exaggerate your sweetness. Try pumping up his confidence and influence him in a positive way. Obviously, if that doesn't help and it continues, you might need to take more dire steps. But it's worth a shot. People are defensive by nature. Did you notice this type of behavior out of him before the baby? With other people in his life or yourself?
No, that's the thing. He's very nice and gentle towards me. Before baby, he interacted very well with kids of friends and family members. Better than me, much better. That's why I'm really surprised.
I think you can use that then by pointing out all the good qualities he has. Sounds like he is overwhelmed.
He definitely is overwhelmed, yes. Apart from these episodes, he helps me give baby medication. He gives him a bath, helps me feed him solids, changes his diaper. They play together with cubes and balls, and he's very satisfied with himself when he makes the little one laugh. That's why I'm hoping with a few changes and conversations, we can overcome this.
I'm concerned that if you don't deal with this immediately, your jolly little guy won't be so jolly. This is absolutely verbal abuse, and your son will hear those words echoing in his head for the rest of his life if it continues. How would your husband feel if someone called you stupid or an idiot? Would he defend you? Would he agree? Does he speak to you like that?
No, he doesn't. He's respectful and nice to me. I can see he loves me. I just wish he could bond with his son better. They do have their moments and sometimes spend time together nicely. That's what gives me hope, and is the reason I haven't contacted a divorce lawyer yet. Honestly, I'm afraid it will be as you say. He will insult our son, and my boy will always remember this. Which is why I seriously contemplated leaving, to protect my boy.
He sounds defective. I expect most of us got frustrated at times with our 6-month-old. Frustration is a daily experience, even for those without kids. But if someone can't help but lash out when they are frustrated, they are not ready to be a parent, or to even be in a relationship. Has he historically done similar when he is frustrated with you? Is lashing out at others his normal reaction to not being able to do something? Plenty of toxic people do that rather than accept trivial failures. Then again, you having to request he watch the kid twice a week seems a clear sign he isn't ready to be a parent. That being said, the frustration can be decreased if you regularly parents. What kind of relationship does he have with the kid when you are there? Has he always changed diapers, bottle fed, put the kid to sleep, and held the kid while you were there?
He isn't lashing out at me at all. Never has. When we're all together, he does change baby's diaper, gives him a bath, puts him to sleep sometimes, holds him while I cook. They can also play together quite nicely. The behaviour I'm describing is not a daily occurrence, but it does happen, and I want to try and help him change it. Now, I've taken in all your comments. First of all, thanks to other dads chipping in, you helped me with a point of view that was hard for me to comprehend. I spoke with my husband again, but this time I was able to keep my cool and explain calmly what is wrong, why, and offer strategies for him to overcome his frustration. I think I managed that because of your support here, because when we've had those conversations before, I would always get emotional and he wouldn't take it seriously. As a result of our conversation, we decided to get earplugs for him, and he said he'll try to be the baby carrier more, and as a last resort, leaving our baby in his crib and going out of the room to cool off for 10 minutes. As for myself, I decided to leave him tend to our little one more while I'm at home, and will observe the situation for the months to come. If there's an improvement, great. I plan to emphasize that and congratulate my husband every time he's doing something nice with or for the baby, and call him out when he speaks disrespectfully to the baby or about the baby, hoping the latter will subside and disappear. If there's no improvement though, I will pack my stuff and my baby and leave, even though I love my husband still. It's not only weird or a red flag, it's also a big turn-off for me when he's insulting a literal baby child. We'll stop working out, as now I feel incredibly guilty for going out in the first place. Thank you, everyone. Hey everyone, I feel confident I can write an update to my last post. Basically, I have really good news, and I owe that to some of the advice I got in my original post. Thank you, you're such an empathetic and helpful community. Now, our little one is 10.5 months, and I can finally say hubby and baby have bonded and have a good time together. I think the unexpected quarantine helped, because my husband has been working from home since March, thus spending more time with both of us, which helped him get to know his son better and develop a relationship with him of his own. Now that we're at the separation anxiety stage, the baby has stated crying not only for me, but also when hubby leaves the room. So, in a way, I think that's a good sign. Basically, my husband managed to change his behaviour a lot. Hasn't insulted the little one. He would still complain sometimes though, but now he does it primarily in the evening after we put the baby to sleep. Here's what helped. I pushed myself to involve him more with daily baby tasks, and was doing my best to model what behaviour we should do as parents. That way, since he still didn't have much of a relationship with the baby, he had to copy me and my coping mechanisms, which certainly didn't involve calling the baby names. If the baby were to cry while with hubby, I tried not to rush immediately, but to let husband figure it out at least for 5 minutes before rushing in. Once he started being somewhat successful at calming our baby down, my husband gained more confidence. Granted, he asked me about every little thing. Like, when should I change his diaper? When I should put him down for a nap? How do I know if he's finished eating? But I think that helped, since now he can read the baby's cues much better than before. Welcome, the earplugs. A lot of you suggested that, and we got some for him, and indeed, getting the volume of a crying baby down helped my husband to remain patient with our son. So, I would get back from the store and find husband cuddling and rocking our baby with the earplugs in, while the little one was crying. Not ideal, but I suppose it's better to cry in the arms of your dad than alone in the crib. Started talking and explaining to my husband in a calm and matter-of-fact tone why what he does is wrong and what he can do differently. This was huge, actually. Before, I would get really emotional and noticed that as soon as I lost control, husband stopped listening to me. As soon as I was able to get a hold of myself and have a matter-of-fact conversation with him, he was willing to hear me out, take me seriously, and implement some changes. Now that the baby is mobile, laughing, babbling, and playing games with us, it's super fun. And I can tell my husband enjoys this stage more than any other before. They have their own little games, and if baby hurts himself while crawling, for example, I can overhear him saying something like, "Oh, did you fall, sweetie? It's okay, you were going too fast." And honestly, that's so good to hear. He also kisses and hugs the baby a lot more than before. It makes my heart smile when my husband is a good father to our son. So, to all of the people saying my husband is a piece of shit, I guess you were wrong. He was going through depression and was feeling inadequate, plus was mourning our life pre-baby. After he gained some knowledge, confidence, and perspective, his parenting skills improved immensely. I hope it will only get better from now on, you guys. You were a great support, so thank you for that.
Royal A.I.
Having to congratulate your husband on doing the bare minimum as a dad? Big yikes. Not just that, but congratulating an adult male for stopping his verbal bullying towards his own infant baby is beyond words. OP is raising 2 children, one angry, frustrated teenager and an infant.
How do I know when to change his diaper? What do I do if he's crying? For God's sake, women aren't born with this inherent knowledge either. We're figuring it out as we go along too. It's frustrating to see him get praise for doing the bare minimum. Also, this is 6 months into the baby's life that he's asking these questions, and allegedly he had been helping. Wow, then she can't go to the gym anymore when it was her place to reset. I'm starting to feel most people just shouldn't be parents. Good for her for improving the situation, but the idea of having to parent a partner like that, makes me want to puke. I'm sorry, but truthfully, I need someone to explain how on earth a man can struggle with postpartum depression.
Maybe the term is wrong, not sure about it honestly. But in our case, he truly mourned the life pre-baby. He said he didn't expect it to be that hard. And for the first 4 months with the baby, he has said repeatedly nothing brings him joy, which sounded pretty much like depression. I'm shrugging over here, sorry if the PPD thing was incorrectly mentioned. I've changed the PPD part to depression for clarity.
I'm glad it worked out and happy you worked to help him go through it. Rather than shaming him, he is lucky to have you. Just to specifically call out number 2, earplugs. They helped me immensely with both of my girls. I had a visceral reaction to their loud screams, especially when I couldn't calm them immediately, and my default reaction was anger. Dropping the decibel level kept me much calmer and in return, made me a more patient father. I kind of rationalized it as, you don't run a chainsaw without ear protection, so why would it be the default to let a baby scream in your ear from inches away without ear protection?
Thanks to you and everyone who admit that a screaming baby is a trigger. I now realize it also is for me as well, but for anxiety and panic, not anger. If I wasn't breastfeeding, I'd resort to earplugs too.
I like to remember a line I read, "Be careful how you speak to your child, it will become their inner voice." I like to remember a line I read, "Be careful how you speak to your child, it will become their inner voice." I can only imagine his inner voice is being kinder as well.
This is absolutely true. My father is abusive and my inner voice often puts me down, to this day, and I'm almost 30. I was actually pretty scared 4 months ago, but I realised that bad people don't really change their behaviour, don't take responsibility for their actions, and always turn things around on you. None of this happened with my husband. I think he really was depressed and needed help. But if I notice a change for the worse again, I don't think I'll try to be patient anymore.
Have you ever thought that maybe he didn't want to have children, and this is his way of venting? I'm not saying it's right by any means, but still makes me wonder.
I was wondering the same, but he seemed so into this. I was recovering from hypothalamic amenorrhea, and getting pregnant was difficult for us actually. He was very supportive and went through all the necessary tests, well, one test, to make sure he's reproductively healthy. He was super present in my pregnancy and was my birth partner. I certainly didn't expect what happened.
Here to mention something that annoyed me senseless. You mentioned you would always get emotional and he wouldn't take it seriously. That's crusty, infuriating, honestly. I've had partners that pull that shit. Like, you think I'm less worthy of listening to if I feel strongly about something? I don't yell or say mean things, but my eyes well up when I have strong emotions. Apparently, even if I'm otherwise able to continue communicating, it's not worth listening to me when I care about something enough to get emotional about it. Once the penultimate straw on the camel's back was when my mom did something big and unexpectedly nice for me. It didn't affect my partner at all, but of course I tried to tell him about it, because it was important to me. I was told that I was being manipulative by crying while telling him the good news. I fully checked out at that point and broke up with him the next time an issue came up. I deserve to be treated with respect even if I'm upset or emotional.
Some of the suggestions sounded like she had to gentle parent him, to not verbally attack his baby. A lot of folks don't know how to deal with the emotions that pop up when a baby is screaming, literally in your ear. I still remember the screaming in my ear, triggering a level of anger that was scary. Luckily, I was a bit older when we had our first kid and knew how to manage my emotions safely. I can't imagine what kind of father I would have been if I had kids much younger, before I had a chance to begin to understand myself better. Happy you're all doing better, OP.
What would you advise OP? Let us know in the comments. You like the way these stories are brought to you? If so, I got you covered. More like this on my channel. Thank you for staying till the end. See you in the next one.